All right, let's talk about a huge tax deduction that so many S-Corp owners either get wrong or miss out on entirely: your health insurance. If you're a shareholder holding more than a 2% stake, the rules can feel kind of twisted and complex, but trust me, getting them right is an absolute game changer for your bottom line. So let's break it all down. Here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle what I call the S-Corp owner's paradox. Then I'll show you the exact wage and deduct method to solve it. We'll cover how to claim your deduction and, maybe most importantly, how to sidestep some really costly compliance traps. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple, audit-proof checklist you can start using like today.
Okay, let's dive right in with the S-Corp owner's paradox. This is really the core of why the normal rules for employee benefits just don't seem to apply to you in the same way.
So, let me just ask you straight up. Are you positive you're handling your health insurance premiums the right way? Because a simple mistake here isn't just a paperwork headache, it's actual money you're leaving on the table.
And here is the paradox in a nutshell. For any regular employee, when the company pays for their health insurance, it's a tax-free perk. Simple. But for you, the S-Corp shareholder, the IRS says that very same payment has to be treated as taxable wages. It feels completely backwards, right? That's exactly the puzzle we're here to solve.
So let's get to the solution. It's a specific IRS-approved process called the wage and deduct method, and it is the key to turning that taxable event back into a fantastic tax deduction.
The magic behind all this is the self-employed health insurance deduction, or SEHI. This is what's called an above-the-line deduction. And what that means is you can take it on your personal tax return even if you don't itemize. It's perfectly designed to let you subtract those premium costs, which essentially just cancels out the income tax on the wages your S-Corp just paid you.
This whole thing really boils down to three pretty simple steps. First, your S-Corp pays for your health insurance, either directly to the provider or it reimburses you. Second, your corporation adds that exact dollar amount to your W-2 wages. And third, you take that amount and claim it as the SEHI deduction on your personal return. It's a perfect little loop, but every single step has to be done in the right order. Now, getting your payroll right is absolutely critical here. The premium amount has to be included in Box 1 of your W-2, your taxable wages, but here's the really important part. It is not included in Box 3 for Social Security or Box 5 for Medicare. This means you avoid paying FICA taxes on it, which is a fantastic little bonus.
Okay, so we know the method. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of actually claiming the deduction on your personal tax return. This part covers the essential rules that you absolutely have to nail.
The IRS has this really important requirement called the plan established under the business rule. And what it means is your S-Corp has to be the one paying. If your insurance policy is in your personal name, you can't just pay it from your personal checking account. No way. The S-Corp must reimburse you for those premiums, and that reimbursement absolutely must be reported as wages on your W-2. If you miss the step, you could literally lose the entire deduction.
And what about the paper trail? Well, you'll use a specific form, Form 7206, to calculate the deduction amount. And from there, the final number just flows right onto Schedule 1 of your 1040, landing on line 17.
Now, there are two major limitations, two gotchas you need to know about. First up is the earned income limit. It's simple. Your deduction can't be more than the W-2 wages you got from your S-Corp. The second one is the other coverage limit. You can't take this deduction for any month that you were eligible to get on a subsidized health plan somewhere else, like through your spouse's job. And that's true even if you decided not to sign up for it. And the IRS guidance on this is crystal clear. Your W-2 wages create an absolute ceiling for your deduction. This is exactly why paying yourself a reasonable salary isn't just a good business practice, it's absolutely essential to make this whole strategy work. Okay, so that covers how you get the deduction for yourself. But what about your team? This brings us to some very real and potentially very expensive compliance traps, especially if you have other employees. This is the question that can get a lot of S-Corps into serious trouble. See, all the special rules we've just gone over apply only to you, the owner with more than a 2% stake. They do not apply to your regular, non-shareholder employees. And here is the big, flashing warning sign. You generally cannot just reimburse your regular employees for their individual health insurance policies. Under the Affordable Care Act, or ACA, that's a big problem. What works for you as the owner is considered a non-compliant employer payment plan when you do it for them.
So what are the stakes? Well, the potential penalty is staggering. It's $100 per day per affected employee. Over a full year, that's more than $36,000 for just one person. This is just not a risk you ever want to take.
So what are the right ways to offer health benefits to your team? You've got a few solid compliant options. You can set up a traditional group health plan, or you can use a formal health reimbursement arrangement, an HRA. A really popular one for small businesses is a QCHRA. The main takeaway here is to use a formal, compliant plan and just stay away from informal reimbursements for your staff.
And just one more quick compliance note. If you personally have insurance through the ACA marketplace and you got a premium tax credit, you need to be extra careful. There are special coordination rules you have to follow on Form 8962 to make sure both your tax credit and your SCHI deduction are calculated correctly. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's bring it all home with your final audit-proof checklist. Think of this as your action plan to make sure you nail this every single time. Let's walk through it. 1. Document your plan. Make it official. 2. Pay and report it correctly. Your S-Corp pays, and it goes into Box 1 of your W-2. 3. Check your limits. Make sure the deduction is valid. 4. Comply for your other employees. Use a formal plan for them. And 5. File correctly with Form 7206 and Schedule 1. Follow these 5 steps, and you're going to be in great shape.
You know, if you remember just one single thing from our time together, let it be this. This is the absolute linchpin of the entire strategy. To get that deduction, your S-Corp has to either pay or reimburse you, and that amount must show up as wages in Box 1 of your W-2. Everything else flows from that one critical action.
So, you have the complete blueprint now. The only question left is, are you leaving money on the table? Now is the perfect time to go review your payroll process and your plan documents, because every single dollar you're not deducting correctly is a dollar you've overpaid in taxes.